Hey y'all, I'm Sarah Daniels from Sarahnautics, and so many of you have been requesting I do an About Me video so you can get to know a little bit about me and my journey into aviation. We're finally doing it. I just hit 10,000 subscribers, and I thought it would be a good way to celebrate and do something a little bit different with the channel. So hi, I'm Sarah. I am 35 years old. The Botox is working. I've been a professional content creator for 8 years. I've just been hiding in a different corner of the internet. What most of you have asked me is how long have I been flying? How did I get into this? So in 2023, I was on a flight to Arizona to go see Taylor Swift's opening night of the Eras Tour. Yeah, I love Taylor Swift. What are you gonna do? And we were in a bit of turbulence, and I did what I always did on planes, which was get on the internet and look up how to get over turbulence. And an article comes up that said, take a discovery flight. So you want me to go get in a little Cessna, a little Sky Chevy, and that's gonna help cure my fear of flying? Sure, yeah, okay. So I did it. I get off the plane and I called up a flight school in Seattle where I was living at the time. Called them up and said I want to do a discovery flight. I scheduled it right there and then. They took my weight, which I was like, how dare you? But obviously I understand now why they did. I went on this discovery flight. I got in a 1975 Cessna Skyhawk, but the instructor was like, you know, what has you interested in doing this? I was like, well, I'm terrified of flying. And he was like, are you sure you want to do this? I was like, yeah, the reason I want to do this is because I'm terrified of flying. He was like, okay, sure, lady. So we did it. And I had an incredible time. I was scared the whole time, but I also had this rush of adrenaline, like, oh my gosh, this is something I really want to do. I'd never been into planes in my entire life. But I go on this flight, I have an amazing time, I get off the flight, and I go get drunk and get pizza, and I'm like, I'm buying a plane. I started doing full-time lessons in May of 2023. I was flying 4 or 5 days a week, about 2 hours a day. I learned at a Boeing field in Seattle, which is a super duper busy airport. Really crazy space to learn as a student pilot because they have VFR arrivals and departures. So it's not just like, you're just in the pattern. It's just a towered airport. And then I decided to buy a house in Florida. The taxes in Florida are very good. So I said, what's the worst thing that happens if I have to be in Florida for 6 months and 1 day out of the year? Nothing. I just get to enjoy the sun. So Florida was a pipe dream and then it became a reality. We were going to move September 1st of 2023. And I was like, well, I got to finish up my pilot's license. It was maybe July when we had decided to buy a Florida house. You know, I talked to a few people who were like, you know what, you should just knuckle down and finish it. So I soloed in July of 2023 and I got my license on September 6th of 2023. I really just like fast tracked myself into, you know, getting my license quickly. So it took me about 5 months to get my PPL. Going from 0 to PPL was crazy. I didn't know anything about planes. Like, as I said, just not interested in planes in any way. So I had to learn from the ground up. I wasn't like a Microsoft flight sim or like a, you know, person who liked to plane watch. No idea. I have no freaking clue. I learned what a Cessna was when I walked in the building. I got my PPL on September 6th of 2023 with about 80 hours of flight time. And then I immediately did a 2-week intensive instrument training program where I just flew all day, every day for 2 weeks and got my instrument rating at the end of that. So it was supposed to be only 2 weeks, but I booked a gig in the middle of it. So I had like a week and a half of training. Then I went to New York for this reading. Then I flew back to Florida. My turbos were leaking out of the exhaust. So I ended up having to rent a plane for my instrument check ride, which was an NA Cirrus instead of a Turbo Cirrus. But I went and did the check ride, nailed it. My feedback was that I was damn near perfect. Don't want to brag, but had a great check ride. So then I became instrument rated in November of 2023. So since then, I've flown a ton. I own my own airplane. I own a Cirrus SR-22, which you've seen in all my videos. There's a little Papa Charlie back there. I'm very, very blessed to own an airplane. I understand I am very privileged. And I know that for a lot of people, it's a pipe dream. And it is hard to own an airplane. It is very expensive and it is very stressful, but it's hella worth it. I have just under 550 hours. So from May of 2023 to today is April 26th of 2025. I've flown 550 hours, which is kind of crazy. I'm not chasing hours for the airlines. A lot of people ask me if I'm going into this professionally. I have no interest in flying professionally. I do this thing where I turn the things I love into work and then they're work and then they stop being fun. Before I created aviation content online, I was a Twitch streamer, and I streamed full-time on Twitch. I used to stream 7 days a week, and then I cut it down to 5 when I was really, really burnt out. So video games became work. They weren't as fun anymore. The game that made me popular just kind of went in the toilet. The company that made it just had no idea what they were doing and like drove the game into the ground. And I had to kind of pivot and do some other stuff, but it never really stuck. And I wasn't really finding the joy in it anymore. So I started flying and was like, this is amazing. I want to make videos about this. As you've noticed in my videos, I'm super talkative. I love to talk. It's not something I put on for videos. I'm not like, whoa, let me entertain you like a clown. I'm just super talkative, and I'm very used to multitasking. Like being in the plane and talking to myself, talking through what I'm doing is just what I do when I'm by myself. If the cameras aren't rolling, I'm doing the same thing. Any of my CFIs would tell you that. Any of my DPEs would tell you that. I literally have to be like, hey, just so you know, I talk a lot when I fly. I'm not expecting a response, but just so you know, like I'm going to talk the whole time. A lot of people I fly with for the first time are like, are you really not going to get your CFI? Because I'm basically teaching what I'm doing anyway. And it's not that I'm not interested in teaching. I totally am. I think that'd be super fulfilling. But I've been performing professionally since I was 6. My first modeling job, I was 6. Not because I had parents that pushed me into it. I literally got scouted. Someone at my dance studio had a gig for a kid. And so I ended up doing a Tupperware catalog when I was 6. And then from there, it just rolled on and on. I rolled into professional ballets. When I was 13, I did my first national tour. I was a singer, dancer, actor in a live show that was based on the TV show Bear in the Big Blue House. So I did a national tour in 2003 of Bear in the Big Blue House live. I played one of the kids in the family. I was homeschooled, and I got to tour the country. So now in my mid-30s, I mostly do musical theater. That's my like bread and butter gig. But recently I've been getting more into TV and film. I've done some commercials. I do a lot of like shorts, like indie, low budget stuff. But I mostly sustain myself by doing musicals, doing live musicals. This summer I am starring in The Little Mermaid at a theater called Beef and Boards in Indianapolis. I've worked there a bunch and I'm really excited to go back. So if you're in the Midwest and want to catch me live, singing part of your world as a mermaid and flying over the audience, you can do that because I will be there all summer. So I'm a huge gamer. I love video games. So you've probably seen this tattoo on my wrist. This is a Moogle from the Final Fantasy series. My favorite game of all time is Final Fantasy IX. I love it so much. I have 2 tattoos of Final Fantasy IX. I do have 1 airplane tattoo. I got it the day after I got my PPL. I always forget it's there. It's on the outside of my ankle and I never see it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 tattoos. I have lots of piercings. I love earrings. I have an airplane earring up here. You probably can't see it when I'm flying. I have lots of piercings. Obviously, I have my nose piercing. Boomers hate the nose piercing. They really get mad at me on Facebook for the nose piercing. 95% of the comments are super duper nice. Like, y'all are really, really nice people. But then that 5% is literally always some old dude who's just like mad I have a nose piercing or mad I have a rainbow watch band. I'm not the boogeyman. I'm not going to like come out of your closet in the night and be like, blah, rainbows. So I own my Cirrus outright. A lot of people in the comments want to know how much it costs me to fly my Cirrus, which is a really good question. And I wish I had a better answer for you. I can kind of break down the cost a little bit. So the plane was around $900,000. So I bought my Cirrus in 2023 before I finished my PPO, which was crazy work because I was learning in a steam gauge 172. So jumping into the Cirrus after the 172 was a lot. However, their transition program is really great. They really immerse you in it. There's a ton of videos. There's just like endless resources that make it really easy to get into that plane. It's fast, it's spicy, and it's got the gusto. And you gotta have the gusto to go along with it, which I do have the gusto, so that's great. I bought it because we put down a deposit on a brand new Cirrus. We were gonna get the G7 in 2025, like this month. But ultimately, we were like, no, actually, let's get a Malibu instead. And then I was like, no, I actually really like the Cirrus. And then I got to fly a Vision Jet at the Grand Canyon. And I was like, that's what I want, ultimately. So if I'm going to move up into something else, if it's a step up, I want it to be the Jet. Or I'm just going to stay in the regular Cirrus, the 22. So we ended up not getting the new Cirrus this year. And then I'm kind of like regretting it and thinking about getting into a new one. I'm working on it. I'm working it all out in my brain. I like to challenge myself, but I'm not an idiot. As you've seen from my videos, I'm very safe. I follow protocol. I follow the rules. I follow the checklists. So I don't think that jumping in a jet at 500 hours is the smartest thing to do. I'd really like to get over 1,000 hours before I decide to like be like, yeah, let me jump into that. Like there's a lot more that goes with it. You know what I mean? Like no one's going to be forgiving when you're in the Vision Jet. In the 22T, like, I'm not an idiot and I fly very well. I'd say I'm not that caricature of like a Cirrus pilot where people are like, oh, Cirrus pilots, they just rah, rah, rah. Like, first of all, relax. You're just mad because the plane is $1.3 million. I get it. I jumped into the Cirrus and I immersed myself so aggressively in that plane. I flew so much when I first got that plane. I really, really took care to make sure that I wasn't becoming a statistic, that I wasn't getting behind the plane, that I was staying ahead of the plane and smart. Without an instrument rating, I don't think I could have done that. Like, that really propelled me into a new bracket of safety, and I'm super glad that I did that, even though it was the most stressful thing I've ever done. I think the trauma from that has made me not get my commercial license yet, but I am planning on getting my commercial license. I finished ground school. I just need to study and take the test, and then I'm going to do a 2-week intensive with that one too. Just knock it out, get it all done. So the first year of plane ownership sucked because, you know, I had 80 hours when we applied for insurance. And they're basically like, so you're dumb and you're going to die? And I was like, no, I'm not going to die. I'm a good pilot. And they're like, well, we don't care. $21,000 for insurance the first year. Whoa, that's a lot of money. I don't care if you're flying a Cirrus. That's still a lot of money. Like, that's $21,000 is crazy. The plane burns about 16.5 gallons an hour. So if I go Florida to New York, because I have a house in Florida and I have a house in New York, Florida to New York, it's about 90-ish gallons to get there. So let's say avgas is around 6. So we're looking at $540 for the fuel. I have 2 dogs. I have a dog named Bandit. He's a Pomsky. He's 17 pounds. I have a dog named Willow. She's a Pomeranian. She's 5 pounds. And I have a cat. She's 10 pounds. Her name's Gigi. So I have 3 pets. So think about flying all those pets on a commercial airline. I'm really up when it comes down to it. The annual was like $12,000, I think. Maintenance outside of that, I mean, it's like a $200 oil change here and there, but a lot of my stuff was covered under my warranty, which expires in May of this year. So I've been trying to like get everything done, get everything up to snuff before my warranty's out, because then I'm going to have to start paying out of pocket for a lot of things. So a lot of my maintenance has been covered. When my crankcase had an oil leak last year, that was covered, and it would have been super expensive. So if you do the math, if you're flying, 250 hours a year, I mean, it's not cheap. It is not for the faint of heart. And the one benefit, I don't know if this is a benefit. I hemorrhaged money. I own the plane outright, so I don't have a loan on the plane, so I don't pay anything monthly for it. Which you're going to go, how dare you? How do you afford that with American dollars? I have people all the time asking me in the comments, how do you afford that? Well, I work, and every cent that I make personally goes into the plane. Every penny that I make goes into the plane. So anything that comes from this YouTube channel goes into the plane. Anything from my influencing goes into the plane. So I've been very, very lucky to have some extremely cool sponsorships and extremely cool opportunities because of having the plane. And a lot of those I can't tell you about yet because it's a secret, but you'll know soon enough. So the cool thing is that this has led to a lot of professional opportunities for me. But I will say one thing that drives me super duper crazy is that I'm an actor. I'm a professional actor and I'm a pilot. There aren't that many of us. Harrison Ford is one. He gets opportunities where he gets to like fly planes or like do cool stuff. I don't look like a pilot. That's the feedback that I get. I don't look like a pilot. There's a musical called Come From Away where one of the lead roles is Beverly Bass. I can't get an audition for it because I don't look like what people would think Beverly Bass looks like. I'm like, sorry, Beverly Bass is like a beautiful lady. Like, if you're saying that I can't play a beautiful lady, like, there is a stigma surrounding, I think, pilots in general. When you picture a pilot, you picture like an old white dude. Like, you don't picture like a young gal with two-toned hair and a nose ring who used to be a Disney princess. Like, you picture Amelia Earhart. Like, oh yeah, that's a pilot. She's got short hair. She wears like flight suits all the time. I'm like, no, I wear Chanel and heels, and then I get in my Cirrus with my like cute little bag and then my little dog, and we take off. So in my younger years, I was a Disney princess. A lot of people are like, what does that even mean? I worked at Disney World and I was a princess. So I started in around 2006, and when I started, I was only 16. So they wouldn't let me be any face characters, which was probably for the best, because like you shouldn't put a 16-year-old out with guests talking to them. Probably not a good idea. So when I started at Disney, I was Mickey Mouse. It was my dream to be in Fantasmic, the show, where Mickey does this like little dance, because I, danced my whole life. So that was like my big dream. Like, I didn't really care about being a princess or anything. But then when I was 18, they proved me in Tinkerbell and Alice and Wendy, because I'm short. I'm only 5 feet tall. So in the Cirrus, I have to use a booster seat to push me forward because you really have to push down on the rudder and the turbo. It's crazy, man. When that thing takes off full power, oh man. My right quad, nuts. Rock solid. Like, come at me. So anyway, I worked at Disney for like 12-ish years. I started as Tinkerbell, Alice, and Wendy. I did get to do Fantasmic as Mickey. There are videos online if you look at my super duper old YouTube channel from a million years ago. In 2010, I got on Disney Cruise Line as Ariel. So I was just like meeting guests as Ariel. And then in 2012, I got offered Ariel at Walt Disney World as a singing role. So I transferred from the character department into the equity performer department, and I sang as Ariel, and that was the only job I had, just sitting on a rock and singing. So I moved to LA in 2016 for an opportunity to open up the Wizarding World of Harry Potter at Universal Studios Hollywood, which was the best job I ever had when I was in Orlando, was singing with the Frog Choir. I played the Slytherin student, so I was like the nasty soprano student. So I had an opportunity to go out to LA to open up the new part of the park, which was really great. I got to do all the press. It was super fun. And when I was out in LA, I ended up booking Frozen at Disneyland as young Elsa. So I started Disney again while I was out there. I transferred from Walt Disney World out to Disneyland, and I played young Elsa in the original cast of the Frozen musical at the parks. That was the end of my Disney career. So from there, I moved back to New York City and started pursuing musical theater again in New York. Now, people love to ask actors, oh, you're an actor? What have I seen you in? It's like the most frustrating question to get because, like, first of all, I don't know you. Who are you? Second of all, I don't know what you watch. Like, what do you consume? Do you watch TV? Do you go to the theater? Like, do you like to watch short films? Like, do you like to watch indies? Like, have you seen a commercial for this dog brand? Like, it's a really kind of demeaning question to ask an actor because as artists and as actors, we're not defined by what other people have seen us in. At least for me, I didn't start doing this job because I was hoping to get famous. I love performing. I've always loved being in front of the camera. I love the attention, obviously. I do this because I love it, not because I'm trying to like impress people or be seen by a bunch of people, but I love to perform. I love the applause. I live for it. Don't ask actors, oh, what have I seen you in? Because it's really annoying. If you are interested in my acting career, you can always visit my website, sarahDaniels.com. My resume's on there. You can go through it. There's some performance clips. You can see a little bit of that. Or you can come see me live. Like I said, I'm starring in Little Mermaid this summer in Indianapolis. So come and see you, girl. But we're almost sold out, so you better get your tickets soon. The airport that I fly out up here is Essex County in West Caldwell. It's pretty great, except there's a ton of training traffic. I'd really like to be at Morristown, but it's turning into Teterboro, so they don't really want me there. That's fine. And my Florida airport is Fernandina Beach on Amelia Island. They're awesome. They're so super duper sweet. I love them. So something that I've said on Instagram, but I haven't really said on YouTube. I know that when people watch my videos and when I respond to comments, I'm very responsive. I love to chat with people. People feel like a certain closeness to me because I'm very vulnerable and I love to talk. And I want it to feel like we're friends, like we're besties. But that makes people kind of cross a line a lot. People just are like, let me take you to breakfast. Fly to my airport, I'll take you to lunch. Fly to my airport, I'll take you out to downtown. We'll get in the car, we'll go out. It's not that I think everyone is a criminal. If I did one-on-one meetups with everyone who requested one-on-one meetups with me, I would have to do that full time. That would have to be my job. I would have to never do anything ever again and just hang out with people from the internet. But first of all, it's unsafe for you and me. What if I'm crazy and a serial killer? You don't know. We haven't met. But like for me, I mean, I'm 5'1", I'm small. I weigh 97 pounds. Like it's not safe for me to just meet random people from the internet, especially people who I don't know anything about. Like y'all know stuff about me, but I don't really know stuff about you. Do you know what I mean? It's like you watch these videos, you get this picture of who I am, but I don't know you on the other side really because I haven't gotten the opportunity to have the same experience. Does that make sense? So I have a very firm boundary. I do not meet people for one-on-ones, period. There's no I do not make an exception to this rule. Men, women, everybody in between, that's a boundary for me. So as much as you want to be like, hey, come to Block Island, let's have breakfast at Ellen's. Ellen's rocks. That place is amazing, but I'm not going to do that. Fly-ins, group meetups, anything where there's going to be a bunch of people, invite me. Like Oshkosh, hello, I want to meet you. I want to meet you in public too. If you run into me at an airport, come over here, say hello to me. I love talking to people. I've met so many people out in the wild that are lovely. I'm just not going to like schedule a meetup with you. I'm sure that people understand that, but I mean, hundreds weekly ask this. So I want to put it out there so that we don't have any confusion on where the boundary lies. So again, if you want to invite me to your fly-in, heck yes, I'm there. You want to invite me to like your booth at Oshkosh? I'm there. If you see me at an airport, come say hi. I'm super talkative. People always say I'm nicer in person. I'm like, what do you mean? It's because I get sassy in the comments. Like, I don't get nice when you're weird in my comments. One other very cool thing to know is that I am finally combining my love of theater and planes, and I am currently working on an Amelia Earhart musical, which is very, very exciting. It's a story about her life, which I think is super important to tell, because when you ask people about Amelia, you ask what they know about her, and they say, oh yeah, she disappeared. She has a life and a legacy and a family and a very interesting story to tell, and we're working on it right now. So that's super exciting. So stay tuned for that. Other than that, like, truly, genuinely, thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for your support. Thank you to those of you who have sent me tips. Some of y'all have been so just insanely generous. You know, I started this not realizing anyone was going to watch my videos. You know, I've been successful on Instagram for a long time, but I didn't really think the long form content was going to hit. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to edit. All of this is very new to me. My first series of videos was my cross country from Florida to California. I had 2 cameras. I did what I could. I didn't think anyone was going to watch it. So I post my first video, it blows up, and then I just have all these comments like, we need more angles. Realize when you're asking that, you're asking someone who's creating videos for free at this time to go out and spend another $400 on an extra camera and then spend another several hours editing for free just so you, Michael Smith, in the comments can have what you want. Realize that's a lot. Like, I'm going to do my best, but right now I'm not making a ton of money on long form videos. So I did get 2 extra cameras thanks to a very gracious person who donated enough money for me to be able to do that, but I wouldn't have done that otherwise. So now I have 4 angles and I'm editing these videos, and it is an astronomical amount of work. So just realize when you're asking a person, I'm not a professional crew. I am a random lady with a couple of GoPros and a plane trying to make it work. So please be gentle when you're asking and requesting these certain things. You know, I'm going to do my very best with what I have currently, but I don't have an editor. I don't have someone like directing. It's just me. So please be gentle when you're asking and expecting all these things. Just know that, like, the person on the other side of that is just me. It's just me. I'm just a gal. I appreciate your patience while I figure out what this content even looks like. I still don't know what it's going to look like because I'm learning. Every day I'm learning. Every video I post, I'm learning something. But really, genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, this is amazing and has already changed my life and the trajectory of my future. So I really appreciate you being here and coming along for the ride. And those of you who leave me wonderful, beautiful comments thanking me for the content, truly, it means everything to me. And I read every single one of them, the good, the bad, the ugly. Because again, it's just me. I don't have any moderators. It's just me behind the screen. So I do appreciate the love and the support. And I'm planning on continuing making long form videos. And I hope that you enjoy them. I truly, madly, deeply never knew how much flying would change my life and me as a person and the people. I'm like getting emotional. The people that I've met doing this and the beautiful experiences I've had doing this, I feel extremely lucky. And I know that it is a privilege to be able to have the plane that I have and do the things that I'm doing, and that I'm a professional actor and I go between jobs. So I have all this time to fly and just kind of, you know, do my thing and live my dream. And I know live some of your dreams. My grandfather, he worked at Pratt & Whitney, designing, building. He's an engineer. And the last time I saw him, he said, living my dream. So I thought that was super nice. And it you know, blah, 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 shut up. It just like makes me think of all the other people who can't fly anymore that watch my videos. And you know, it means a lot to me that you have come on this journey with me. So, yay. I'm such a crier. Please get it together. I hope that answered some of your questions. I could ramble on forever. I'm thinking about doing some live streams just so we can do a little bit more of this, like getting to know me. So if that's something you're interested in, please comment below. Let me know what you want to see. I mean, I'm not necessarily going to do it. I get some interesting ideas from some of your comments. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate your time and attention. You can find me on YouTube. Obviously, that's where we are right now. But I'm very, very active on Instagram, especially in Instagram DMs. If you want to talk to me, Instagram's the place to find me. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Threads. And I'm on TikTok. So thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. It means a lot to me. See you up in the air.